ladies and gentlemen, this is becoming an annual tradition. A man who's been a writer and on certainly massive platforms, now currently writing for .com, and a man who is a friend of the program. He's a race expert, but I think he's an expert on everything, and that's kind of what I've learned from him. Ladies and gentlemen, host Ryan McGee, the McGee part, Ryan McGee.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing amazing. It's good to be here. Hell, this is the center of the sports universe.
What do you mean by that?
Well, all right, so the Pacers did what they did the other night, which I didn't see. I was at this thing, and I went to the airport Thursday morning to come to Indianapolis, and every TV at the airport is showing the last minute of the game. Awesome. Amazing. Mm-hmm. And you got, I hear Caitlin Clark's pretty good at basketball.
Well, she was in one last night with Atlanta.
Yeah. Yep.
She was in the middle of a tough battle.
And obviously we got the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indianapolis 500, my favorite event to cover in the world. Okay. And and condolences to you and all your friends and family, and with Jim Irsay. I mean, this is the center of the sports universe.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see the actual Stanley Cup in a few minutes.
Okay. He was here yesterday.
I know. I'm not. Well, hell, and by the way, y'all had Cole Trickle on the show. I'm not sure what else.
Yes,
I'm not sure what else anyone could want. This is the greatest week of all time.
Yeah, Tom was in. It was wild. That was wild. That was a really wild scene.
That was literally one of those. Because I turned the show on, you get the TV where it's the automatic channel in the middle of the day, and I'm eating lunch, and I turn the show on, you guys are always on, and I was like, y'all were a little busy, so I didn't text anybody. I was like, damn, Tom Cruise is on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
And then he was on the show and on the show and on the show and on the show. It was awesome.
35 minutes.
Does he like movies? Does Tom Cruise like movies?
And popcorn.
Yep. Yeah. Loves popcorn. Did you think he was eating?
The thing with the it's like an internet thing, right? How he eats his popcorn?
Well, just in that one particular video.
Right.
Because in other videos of him eating popcorn, it's very standard operating popcorn procedure. That one, he was rolling the dice a lot.
Having fun.
He was rolling the dice, and he was throwing that thing, I think. And this is the one. Yeah, it was the See, did he catch that popcorn in his mouth?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, he's yucking it up.
He's do whatever he wants. Yeah, well, and you see the other picture. He's been going to all these movie theaters and like surprising people.
Yes.
And the other night, like his PR people were getting irritated because he was like talking to the popcorn girls for like an hour. Mm-hmm. And they were like, "We got to go." And he just, I don't know were they talking about popcorn?
Did you hear about ours?
Yeah.
You talk about him having too much interest in these people that have been working at the movie theaters, which he was appreciative of, I think was his big angle.
Oh, yeah.
Was the big thing. Like, hey, thank you for doing what you're doing. For us, it was supposed to be 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Clearly. Yeah. Like, hey, this is 10 to 15 minutes. That's the time we have. Tom's in the middle of shooting 5 movies and also in the middle of this press run.
Yeah.
I guess he was down in Mexico City. They told us he was in a different country, but then I saw he was in Mexico City for one of the premieres down there. That place was packed out.
Huge.
He felt us everywhere. It was like he was so cool to us.
Yeah.
He was so cool to us.
I don't know how he does it all.
Yeah. I assume this clip will be seen at some point. He stayed afterwards, after our conversation with him, because I asked him a question. I asked him hey, for real, like, there's a chance I'm going to be doing some acting in a movie. I was asked to be in a movie. I'm not an act. Like, I don't know which I think. He gave me a master class.
Did he really?
7 minutes of just
PhD.
like, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to think, this is who you need to talk to, these are the questions you're allowed to ask, this is who you're not allowed to, this is what you should not think about, this is what you should think about, you need to meet this person if you're going to do this, you need to talk to this person if you're going to do this. Like, obviously, 10 to 15 minutes was the time slotted.
That's unbelievable.
35 minutes he talks to us, and then immediately afterwards, I'm like, hey, seriously, though, thank you so much for the time, and is there anything I should think about? And you see him, like, think about leaving, and then he's like,
I got to help this guy.
No,
I got to help this guy.
For the movies.
He sits down, and he looks directly at the camera, and he goes for 6.5 minutes. I think it's 6:45 or something like that.
Straight.
Just masterclass of what I need to think about. And, and then he got up and left. He was like, I appreciate the hell out of you guys. Thank you so much. I got to go.
Yeah,
and then
dove out of the window behind him right after.
He was awesome. So we're very thankful for Tom and everybody that spends time on our show because how stupid everything we do is, including you. Appreciate you coming on and chit-chatting about coming here.
No, last
we
year
love
was
having
best.
you here.
Well, and last year was so much fun, and I'm never throwing a football again because I'm never going to throw one like that again.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
No, that was one of the greatest moments of my life. And so I became an internet sensation for about 10 minutes. It was awesome for a good reason.
Hold on, Hold on though. I think the Bojangles chicken story is still
Which, by the way, Dan Bojangles sent you guys a bunch of chicken. They didn't send me nothing. And so just
they
and
know
then
you're
literally
coming
the HQ's around the corner from my house. So and
They got you.
But yeah, but I was like, well, I'm glad I got to feed the guys.
You did. It did feel like it was a breakfast from McGee.
But just so you know, you could drive it down to the house. It's literally 10 minutes from the house.
At Cary or from HQ?
Yeah, no, HQ is like literally like I used to work in an office on the same street as Bone Jingles HQ.
See, they know they got you.
Yeah.
They sent us to try to win it.
Right.
Yeah.
Hook, line, sinker.
Have you been Cary, North Carolina? How far is that from you?
Cary?
Yeah.
A couple hours. I grew up in Raleigh, so Cary is like in the Raleigh suburbs.
Okay,
Yep.
sweet.
Yep.
We're going to be down there for 2 years coming up here in a couple weeks or whatever for this the soccer tournament.
Oh yeah. No, Cary's awesome. Cary, when I was a kid, when I was in high school, you know, I ran track or whatever. When we had meets at Cary, it was like you needed a damn passport. Like it was out in the middle of nowhere. And now it's like the richest zip code in North Carolina. That's where USA baseball is based there. Like it's unbelievable.
And the facility, the complex that we played,
Insane.
so nice.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like Frisco, Texas. You know, Frisco, there was nothing there 20 years ago, and now it's like Main Street USA. Like everything's brand new, and Jerry Jones is there, and it carries like that. Like everything looks like it was just built.
Yeah, shout out to Cary. Can't wait to be down there.
Yeah, there you go. Go Imps.
Can't wait to be down in Cary.
That's their high school, Cary Imps.
The Imps, like
The
Hemps?
Imps, IMPS. I don't even know what the hell an imp is.
Well,
gotta
I
be-
do.
Yeah, there's a couple letters you can put in front of that could really change.
they wear the
I'm not
big
sure
time.
if they are,
No,
but
it's
they
with
were
the
back
G,
in the
Tony.
day. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, because if you put a P in front of that, a little bit different than putting an S in front of that.
Yeah. Put an L.
I'm not saying we did that when we played them, but I'm saying we probably did. Or
What were the
Trojans.
chance? What were the
Classic.
chance?
Yeah.
What'd you guys say?
We would literally like spray paint and you add letters to it. Yeah.
Which letter did you add?
It was P then because the G really wasn't a thing then.
Okay.
I'm old.
What about the S?
S, yeah.
That wasn't a thing then, but I'm sure they do it now. Yeah, I'm gonna if they are indeed still the Imps.
Okay, let's talk.
I was an Enloe Eagle, so screw them.
They are still the Imps.
Yep.
We are getting information in the back
Yep.
that they are still the Imps. You're here for the Indy 500 this weekend. Massive stories throughout it, including a cheating scandal that has led to everybody on Team Penske of importance getting fired the week of Indy 500. Joseph Newgarden, who has won the Indy 500 in the past, he is actually being punished because of what was happening with their car. So what is this?
Yeah, he's the two-time defending champion. So there's only 5 guys in the history of the race since 1911 that have won it back-to-back. He has the best chance, I believe, to be the first to ever win 3 in a row. But yeah, so basically, back in the 90s when I first started covering IndyCar, Indy cars were breaking all these guys' backs. Like they would back into the wall, and the back of the car was so stiff, even at a slow speed, it just would basically just spear them in the spine, and they would be paralyzed. And so they added this thing called a rear end attenuator. And I'm telling you, it is almost exactly like that bottle right there. And it's designed to crush. So when it hit the wall, it absorbs energy and keeps it from going into the cockpit and injuring the driver. And so you don't mess with safety stuff. You just don't. You can, the other things you might get in trouble, but you don't mess with the things that were added to save drivers' lives. And so that attenuator is basically in sections designed to collapse. And they had welded the 2 main sections together and then smoothed it over. And the idea being that it was more aerodynamically, it was quicker or whatever. It's probably the minimal improvement. But what it did is it created a situation where that's not going to crush. And so, you might be setting up a situation to paralyze your driver.
Yes.
To break your driver's back. So you don't mess with those things. This is the second scandal that Penske has been involved in. Roger Penske has won the Indy 500 20 times as an owner. But he also owns IndyCar. He owns Indianapolis Motor Speedway. The Indy 500 is his baby, and he's Mr. Integrity. And it was his team that keeps getting busted doing stuff. So that's why everyone was fired. And I'm stunned. Like Tim Cindric in particular, who'd been president of the organization forever. His son drives for Penske in NASCAR, won the Daytona 500. But for them to just clean house is just
Week of the Super Bowl.
the captain's done. So yeah, just imagine if Jerry Jones became the commissioner of the NFL, but still operated the Cowboys, and then the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, but then the Cowboys had some cheating scandal. That's what this is. It's just the level of it is just crazy.
Yeah, and Penske fired everybody. I assume that there is plausible deniability from Penske's part of this happening.
Right.
And also Joseph Newgarden probably did not know this was happening.
Right. The argument is these are the parts that would deliver us by Dallara that builds the cars. We've rotated. So we didn't. It was only in 2 of the 3 cars. So their part, we were handed this part. Is their argument, but that's what Roger Penske said initially, and now he's cleaned house.
Is that what it is right there?
Yeah. So it was. What am I? I need a better.
I don't know where you.
No. So this is the rear end of the car, like headed to the left, and right back that thing right there in the back. And so normally there's 2 sections. There's separate sections. Again, it's designed to crush, and those were welded together. So
Newgarden probably had driver would normally have no idea about
Driver would normally have no idea. The cars are basically like stock cars delivered by this corporation that builds them right over here in Speedway, and so their argument is, well, we didn't know. But I believe that Roger Penske, once he started doing his due diligence, realized something else was there.
Yeah, somebody had to have known something.
And again, the advantage aerodynamically is super minimal. But it's the idea of this second year in a row, y'all getting caught doing something, mistake or not, because you said it was a mistake first time, now you said it's a mistake second time. But that's not the point. The point is you're messing with safety and you're just kind of thumbing your nose.
And Newgarden's one of the greatest drivers on earth right now. He's also incredibly handsome, and he's an American. So
and married a Disney princess. Like he picked up, he goes to Disney World with his family, and Belle, I think she was, like the Disney princess. Like they're doing a meet and greet with the family, and he was like, man, I like her, and she was like, man, I like him, and they found each other on social media a couple of days later because there's very strict rules about
what Bella's allowed to do down there.
She's with the Beast.
The Beast also wanted
right.
to so
She's mad.
Right.
Now, everybody's mad at Joseph.
And Gaston. Don't forget about Gaston.
Think about the Beast when he found out a driver.
Seriously.
Broke the teacups.
And then you look at Joseph Newgarden, you're like, oh, that makes sense.
No. It makes you Joseph Newgarden falls. I always call it the Jesse Palmer category. It makes you mad. you can't be that good looking and also like be talented and also be like a really nice guy. You can't. It just makes you mad.
Yeah, Newgarden's always been good to me. I think he's been on the show a couple times.
Yep.
He's a good dude. I've kind of seen him since he was a young lad coming out of Nashville all the way up until now.
Yep.
And obviously he's earned everything. Sucks that he's a part of this because in the driving world, I don't know how much people know about IndyCar or racing as a whole. It's like that is not something that Joseph Newgarden's telling him like, go ahead and do that. Joseph Newgarden doesn't want that to happen. And now I think there's a chance that his name, because now he's starting what position, 32nd?
He's starting on the back row. Yep.
Yeah, so he's 30th or something?
If he wins it, the race has never been won from further back than 28th. That's only happened twice, and the first time was the very first race in 1911. The other time was like 1936. So
we chatted about this a little bit before, though. His car is going to be faster than any car that has ever started.
He's going to go through the field quick.
Or
he's going to wreck trying to get through the field, or
he holds off. We need you to hold, Joseph.
Yeah. No offense to the back half of the field, but there's a lot of young, inexperienced racers out there, and so he's going to have to navigate that. And you be patient. You're telling a race car driver to be patient, right? That goes against everything they're about. But you got a couple hours.
He needs to stay out of the shit.
He could do it. Scott Dixon, who said to me yesterday, he said, the sad thing about this, we're talking about this.
As opposed to the fact that the weather's going to be cool. The cars are going to be super fast. It's going to be a great race. Should be a great race. We're all talking about the scandal. But Scott Dixon also said there's no way, and he's starting toward the front. He's 4th. He said there's no way I'm not going to see Joseph Newgarden before the race is over with. Yeah.
So everybody agrees if he just can get through the
shit.
No offense to the ding-dongs in the back, then he'll be all right.
They're great drivers, obviously. They're Indy 500.
Imps. If he can get through the imps in the back, he'll be all right.
With the P there, obviously. There's a massive crash. There's a lot of people there. In the front, you're kind of on the outside. In the back, you're on the outside. But in the middle, there's a lot of shit happening. 3 wide, 4 wide happening from people that aren't very experienced in the Indy 500. And then all of a sudden, they get a shot, boom. And once you get one with all those people around, that's when, Scott Dixon, a couple years back, 2017, he got airborne, flipped up like this because another car crashed in front of him, and he tried to get out. There's normally full chaos in like the first 20 laps, right? In that corner?
Yeah, in the history of that race, again, it's been around since this will be the 109th running. In the history of that race, most of the worst big crashes happen at the beginning because once they get 10 laps in, everybody gets a little strung out and all that. But the nature of these cars now, too, back when I was growing up, if you had 3 leaders in the race, it was a huge deal. Now, last year there was like 50 lead changes. So
Kyle Larson told us you don't want to be in the lead.
Right.
He said, actually, you don't want to be in the lead. Now, in the lead, you get more money, so there's cars that aren't as funded or teams that aren't as powerful, they'll steal laps where they're in the lead. And that's because you get more money for every lap that you're in the lead, and also you're being talked about on TV. And everybody that's in racing knows that as soon as old buddy gets out of pit, you are getting past. Yet again, there's a lot of that happens to a lot of jousting.
Joseph has made a last lap pass the last 2 years to win the race, and that used to never happen. I mean, it happened only a handful of times in 100 years, and now it happens.
He's starting next to Will Power.
Yeah.
And then VK, and then right in front of him, Marco Andretti.
Yep.
Up left is Graham Rahal.
Yep.
Oh.
So there's a lot of vets, actually.
Yeah, no, and that'll help in the beginning, and then in the middle, there's a lot of rookies in this race, or a lot of really young guys. But yeah, it's going to help. And the fact that Marco and Graham, in fact, I'm going to talk to Graham later this afternoon. But Kelton Herta, I mean, these guys, Ryan Hunter-Reay's been around forever. He won this race. So yeah, but when you get into the middle, again, no offense to some of these guys. And listen, Kyle Larson, what a great having him here. He's awesome. But even Kyle, this is only the second time he's ever run this race. So there's going to be a lot going on. Stingray Robb, by the way, is one of the greatest names in the
all
history
time.
of sports.
Yeah, that's
One of the greatest names in the history of sports.
Yeah, we knew he'd be driving a Chevy, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
We knew he'd be
How
driving.
old's Ed Carpenter?
Ed Carpenter owns the team that he's racing for.
Yeah,
he's from
been
Indy.
around forever.
He's from Brownsburg, I think.
Yeah, he's from here. If he were to win this race,
Yep.
the grandstand would lose their mind because he was born and raised here.
What year was it? Maybe 2000. Ed had a good run.
He finished second.
Ed was about to win, and the place was about to go absolutely from Brownsburg. Scott Dixon maybe going to be in GOAT conversations whenever he's done with how great he has been. And then you got Robert Schwartzman, the rookie.
Out of nowhere. Team has never been here before. He's never been here before. Nicole Briscoe, SportsCenter anchor, her husband, Ryan, one of the all-time great guys, has been kind of Robert's coach. Robert's never been in an oval race, never raced on an oval in his life. He comes from the Formula One deal. And so it's going to be – and I love Takuma Sato. When he finally won this race, the coolest thing is so there's this group of Japanese reporters, and all they do is they follow Takuma Sato. And they followed him for years. And he's the nicest guy in the world, super fast, but always wrecked with a chance to win. When Takuma Sato finally won the Indy 500 a few years ago, everyone in the media center turned around and looked at those Japanese guys and were like,
congrats.
And they lost their minds because they finally got the payoff. For years they've been traveling with him.
Yeah, and they took the Borg Warner over to Japan, did a full media tour over there. Yeah, I remember that. It was a good time. It was a few years back.
Yep.
Since we've been doing the show, I believe it happened. Can't wait to follow the coverage this weekend. And thank you for the breakdown. Feel like I know more about it. Good luck to Pato O'Ward, who's currently the odds-on favorite to win. I enjoy the Joseph Newgarden revenge story.
Yeah.
At plus.
If he wins, it's going to be. There will be those that are obviously going to say it's tainted or whatever. If he wins, it's going to be one of the greatest stories.
He's got a whole new team.
Yeah.
He's the Chiefs. Yeah. He's the three-peat.
Yeah.
This is the three-peat.
It's hard to do.
Pat Riley's probably waiting for
109 years, no one's won 3 in a row. So I like seeing stuff I've never seen before.
Yeah,
so if he won 3 in a row, I would.
Are you doing the Kyle Larson travel this year? Because we had Kyle in the studio the other day.
Yeah.
He's a little fella. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He was a great conversation with us. And we told him to go on and win.
Yeah, go win that.
Go win both of them.
Go win that thing. Yeah, I did that last year, and it was Mother Nature kicked our butt. Yeah. From the time, and we woke up Sunday morning until I went to bed in Charlotte at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was like, nope. So I'm getting a little old for that. But yeah, we have a writer on site, so I'm going to let Kelly Crandall pick that up. We're going to relay that deal. So I'm either going to be hanging out with y'all on Sunday night, or I'll be back in Charlotte.
Game 3, Pacers Knicks Sunday night after the Indianapolis 500, which follows obviously Monaco for F1.
Sure.
So watch Monaco, judge F1 entirely off of that.
Yep.
Then watch the Indy 500, and then watch the Coca-Cola 600 at night.
Greatest day of racing.
And then we'll just see. Just judge them.
Yeah.
Just see what is real and what is.
I love this. I know where you're going. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. Okay.
The spectacle of Monaco is amazing. The racing.
Well, I just saw Vanderstappen has his new yacht out there in Monaco, and that's awesome. I do like that. $1 million plus in upkeep. It looked beautiful. I mean, as that thing was sailing in there, absolutely. But that's what that is.
Right.
Look at the yachts and stuff.
Everything but the race.
Yeah, we're here for racing. Okay, we're here for Joseph Newgarden getting a brand new car, brand new team as the back-to-back champ, starting in 32nd place. We like to see him kind of work his way, work strategy, kind of get through there.
Yeah.
We like a rookie who, was maybe into Formula One camps, coming over here and leading whenever there's nobody else on the track.
Yeah, he might have said too.
That's where he's at home.
We'll see how that goes.
I love
be-
talking Formula One with Pat McAfee. That's one of my favorite things. I was in Miami. I was at the Miami race. Talking about your boy Chalamet. I saw him at the Miami race at the start of the month, and the event was amazing. And there was one pass for the lead, and it was great. And the rest of it, it was fine.
Exactly.
But
we're at a live event.
But the
here.
event was, again, you go for the event. It was awesome.
We agree.
Half the NFL was there. It was great. But it was. Yeah,
we're from Indianapolis, so I kind of live here and I know all the people, so I kind of feel obligated, even if I was at odds with the entire operation over there. While the F1 thing was running, I was like, all right, I'll check it out. I was actually looking to enjoy it.
Did you go when it was here?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because they ran here for years.
I had to cut the grass. I think Schwartzman though might be one of those guys where he says, "Hey, F1, that's not racing. Like the reason I came over here was because I want to pass guys." He might have.
Yeah, you're right. He might be had that dog in him.
I don't think we can judge him till after this race because if he does just finish last or something.
He was in the Ferrari deal. He was in the Ferrari pipeline. And now he's over here.
Yeah, now he's going to do some racing.
Yeah, now he's ready.
Yeah, welcome over here, bud. Good luck out there. Sitting on the pole has never been an easy thing to do, especially at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He gets that in his first attempt. Good luck. That's a big bonus as well.